Egg and Toast, Caleb Crowley, our observer and the man behind the tech world. Also want to say a big happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And I know Eric is a new dad, so especially happy Mother's Day to Susie and to all of our league moms and my mom and just everybody. So this is kind of a Mother's Day tournament. We can get our league on. All right, how are you feeling about this draft so far, Eric?
It's a little early to tell, right? So they've gone through their Banes. It looks like they targeted Hansifer, right? Hans has got a lot of history playing the Kayn. He just got buffs. I know he's been practicing it a lot with the other guys, giving tips to other people who are starting.
Yeah.
It also looks like they went after maybe Daddy Disney with that Malzahar a little bit. So they seem to be knowing what they're doing and picking, which is fresh. It'll be a good challenge for everybody.
Yeah, and Logical has been just killing it on that Darius in the top lane, so that was smart of them. I also want to say we have Peter Sturman-Wilson in here too, Arya Deva. He was going to sub in for our JV team, but they got a win already, and so he is in, so we'll have a tri-cast. Also want to say that Eric is a Derby grad and choir alum, so keep in representing Hilliard. So Peter, if you want to weigh in with any of your thoughts too as we go in, we got the Kazakhs and the Swain on Oberlin side, and the Pantheon and Echo. See, anytime I see an Echo, it always makes me think of Caleb, our observer, because he was an Echo main for a while. But Peter, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so as Eric had pointed out, that Malzahar ban did come out, and the Kayn ban, so definitely some target bans coming out here. I know that that's something Daddy Disney was really hoping didn't get banned today, that Malzahar, so sad times, but he has been showing up lately on it, so we'll decide what he decides to go instead. I'm guessing that Echo is going to be going to the jungle and that Pantheon into the top lane, given the team's champion pools. And the Maokai is a matchup that Pantheon can bully really hard early, so we'll be looking for some action around there. And we have the Azir coming out from Daddy Disney. I know that's a champion that he absolutely loves to play, so we'll see what he can do on that.
I love some good Azir play. I remember when he was really in the meta for pros a couple of years ago, and oh my gosh, if you see a really solid Azir gameplay, it is just fun to watch. It's really fun.
Oh, it's fluid and beautiful the way they can get those ults in, get the Shurima shuffle going on, and do that insane backline damage. We have the Varus ban coming down, trying to take out some of that poke. And Eric, what are you kind of thinking as you're seeing these comps develop? What do you want to see from these teams?
I think the thing that I really love is that even with the primary bans, they didn't they don't seem to be lost so far, right? So Pantheon, Echo, Azir, good mix, a lot of open. Azir's even a pretty semi-good, like, middle of the pick here, right? You know, he's not being picked first, so he can be countered, and he's not being picked last. I like it. It's something that Daddy Disney is comfortable on. We were talking about the shuffle. I love watching Disney shuffle. I know that when he pulls it off, he cheers and he gets super excited. So the observers will have to keep an eye on him playing that Azir. He's definitely going to be going for it, and I hope the other team is ready for it because he's looking for it.
And speaking, sorry, Peter. Now it's hard. We're all in different places. I can feel out now the NALCS or you know, how they're now all casting from different spots. It's harder, but I was just gonna say that speaking of the other team, Oberlin has definitely done their homework with, you know, that Lulu ban too is something that Sana really likes to pull out a lot. So right on both teams for doing their homework and researching their opponents.
And with Azir coming in that mid lane, that is a good gank setup for the Echo, depending on how well coordinated it is. You can shuffle them right into that stun on the W on the Echo. We have the Caitlyn Morgana. Whoop, maybe the Thresh. We'll see. See what they decide. The Caitlyn Morgana bot lane coming out, the infamous lane that you get that Morgana binding that all League players know lasts literally an eternity, and you get the Caitlyn trap under it, and that champ is in trouble. So interesting development here. Let's see what happens. I'm guessing that that's going to be a Swain support in the bottom lane with the Kassadin mid, so definitely a scaling mid lane matchup, but very, very different jobs for those mid laners. The Kassadin having that insanely huge power spike at the level 6 team where you can assassinate backline like nothing. Azir, some of the highest late game DPS in the game. So we'll have to see how the early lane goes and how they can capitalize on it. Definitely a lot of high early pressure champions as well, with the Kazakhs on the blue side and the Pantheon on the red side.
Yeah, it'll be really important with this Kazakhs that they don't get caught out, and they just have to be careful with, warding and vision and playing around knowing where people are. Now, what about this Swain pick? I think that's really interesting. Swain's kind of just a weird champ who, I don't know, when I'm playing against him, I sometimes feel like his damage sneaks up on you. Like, you don't expect it, and then sometimes, like, mid-game, you're dead.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if they agreed to be an LCS order for this draft. If they did, then that is going to be a Swain top lane. We more commonly see him in the support role right now, and he does that for the early game pressure especially. So he has that route that he can send out and pull back, and with a champion like Jhin, you can follow up on that route incredibly easily. But even if it is in the LCS order and we're seeing the Maokai down in the bot lane, we are going to have that same type of setup where the Maokai can just W in route, Jhin gets the easy route, and Morgana is going to have her finger on that black shield button to try and prevent that. So if it is a Swain up in the top lane, we're going to see a lot more scaling out of that champion, and he can be really scary when ahead. He has so much health, regen, and vamp on his ultimate that he can really be quite difficult to deal with if he gets ahead. He's basically like a tank that does an insane amount of damage. So hopefully they get the anti-heal out early if necessary.
The Swain in lane does damage on
top lane.
The brain. I'm just kidding. And while we're doing this, I want to say we do have a spectator delay, and of course stream delay to uphold integrity for our stream. So just a quick heads up if you're new to watching and new to seeing the stream. We have a 7-minute total delay. Thank you again, Toast. Much appreciated.
All right, so as we're continuing to kind of get into game here, we want to keep in mind kind of the way that these team comps will develop and the way they're going to be wanting to zone around these objectives, right? So no matter where that Maokai is going to go, his ultimate is absolutely massive for jungle control and zoning. He can just send it across those pathways, and there's really no way to get away from it. So if the blue team does get a lead and they can get the vision control around those objectives, that is a very easy way for them to force around those objectives. But if they get behind, they're really going to only be able to run away with it. So that takes away a lot of what they would want to do, and they're going to be more relying on the Kassadin to scale up and hopefully carry in the late game. So it's really going to be, I think, quite dependent on the way that this early game goes with the earlier pressure from the Pantheon and the earlier pressure from the Kazakhs to see what they can do with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's going to be neat to see how the two teams evolve with that going through the game too. Red team has got some mobility. Echo's ult will let him reset and get out of trouble situations in the mid game. So even if they are trying to use their roaming abilities, try and put Pantheon somewhere else on the map with his ult, they almost have a little bit of a redo or a little bit of a reset, hard disengage if it turns out they don't like it. And I think when we get to the end game, it'll be a very smart game that gets played. You've got a black shield, you've got a root, you can try and block that root in front of somebody else, you've got some range on the Caitlyn. So how the teams plan and play, this is really exciting because it's definitely going to show off that team aspect of League of Legends, that golden pure 5v5 capability.
And this is really interesting. We're seeing the teleport come out from both the Maokai and the Swain, so still not totally certain where those are going based on the summoner spells. I would guess that it is going to be the Maokai support based on the fact that he has the Aftershock and the Swain has the Grasp. But, we really don't know quite yet. We'll have to see where those champions actually go. But having the two TPs there on two champions that if they are diving in quickly into the fight can be quite dangerous. And we do have the movement speed on that teleport now. That's an interesting play. You don't typically see that on a support champion.
Yeah, and kind of going off what Erica just said with the two TPs, then, that team fight capability and the idea of, pushing out lanes safely but still being able to, TP in for team fights is really huge. And I like seeing the ignite on the Morgana and that aggression there. So we are loading in, folks. to the Rift.
And another
Oberlin
thing,
Varsity versus Hilliard Esports Varsity.
another thing we want to note here that we can now see that we're into the screen, we do have the Hail of Blades coming out from the Azir in the mid lane on Daddy Disney, and both mid laners actually took Ignite. So Hail of Blades is a rune on Azir that gives you more of that early game pressure, so he's probably trying to mitigate that potential early game snowball that the blue team could get. And he has that Ignite as well to try and get the kills in lane. On the Kassadin, oftentimes you're going to see that teleport instead of the Ignite because his early lane is not terribly dangerous, but again, maybe he's just trying to match that potential early pressure and make a little bit more of an aggressive play than you would typically see on the Kassadin. But before level 6 at least, and really before level 11, that's going to be quite difficult. We'll see how it plays out.
Ooh, and we got an invade there on red side, trying to get
spicy.
vision around, looking at this blue buff.
They just sneak by that. Those
Wow.
they didn't see each other, right? So they don't know that they're up in the river. They don't know that they've got back in on the backside. That's pretty exciting right there, actually.
Ring
There we go
around
the
the
other way.
Rosie, warding everywhere. I love it, and both have placed wards.
We have these ships passing in the night. Oh my goodness, this could get interesting if those 3 go back against the 2. Quite dangerous for the red team.
I want to caution ping them, but alas, I cannot.
Oh, but the Kazakhs, he might face check.
Oh, here we go.
And then it would be a 2v2. Can they get this? Oh my gosh, and you can see his teammates are collapsing in, but it might be too late. The Kazakhs is going to be down first blood. Goes over to Hilliard. That is nice, and now with their jungler gone, Hansper says, this blue buff, I want this.
And that was a fantastic play, anticipating the fact that the Kazakhs would be starting on that blue buff, anticipating that he might try and invade on their blue buff, so you can see the bottom lane warded the blue buff for the red side. So we got that early kill on the snowball champion of the Pantheon that we had talked about in Champ Select. That is going to be quite hard to deal with.
A totally unbiased we there, Peter, right?
Of course. Yeah, we're totally unbiasedly hoping that Hilliard wins, as always.
Yes. Oh, and you see Hansfer there, caught out by that ward in river. Nice caution from the Swain, who is top lane. But he's just healing up and heading back to his own jungle now.
As they say, cheese me once, shame on you. Cheese me twice, shame on me. He got that vision down, and he did not want to have that same type of easy stun setup happen to him in the top lane. With Kazakhs clearing, he might look for a gank bot after these if he wants to go for the early red buff gank, but...
That guy's low, though. Yeah, Caitlyn, good job. Nice getting those autos in.
And Eric, that's the exact kind of range advantage you were talking about on the Caitlyn. What do you think of this bot lane dynamic going on right now?
You know, not seeing how it came out start to begin with, but here it is. It's getting spicy, and they're using just that advantage.
Very nice route by Morgana, and they already got out the heal in bot lane, and their opponents are low and having to pop potions. So, I mean, that, you know, talking about that range that you guys were talking about that early game aggression that Peter had wanted to see. I mean, you know, bot lane is just in complete dominance here. And complete is even more complete because they just got the kill on Maokai, and Jin is really zoned down. Now they're going for some turret gold. Oh my gosh, Morgana. Oh my gosh, Caitlyn, and it's just set up. That was disrespect. They can absolutely land their skill shots. You better back it off, Jin.
Oh my goodness, and this is 2 full waves being denied, plate gold going over. It's going to be so difficult. Oh, wait a minute. We might have a disconnect actually as well. We'll see if Jin reconnects there. Hopefully there. Oh,
there we go. Good.
Got him right back. We don't want any competitive integrity issues for sure.
No,
but,
it's not fun for them. Yeah.
No. But getting back to the actual dynamic of the lane from the play, that is a very scary lane, as we talked about, with those bindings, with those traps, with that range. So when that lane gets an advantage, we're going to have to see that Kazakhs make those comeback plays with his early game pressure to try and get blue back in this game.
What does that CS total look like in the mid lane there, Mr. Observer? Can you help us out just a little bit? See, that's right on point, right? So that's going even health bars. I'm assuming they've got all their skills here at this point, and there's a cannon denied, so that's going to be a little bit of a swing, but that mid lane, slow and steady, they seem to just be farming at the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah, both-
meanwhile, though, you know, in top lane, there's a huge CS difference, so we have Hunter coming around for possible gank. It's not warded here, but Catherine's playing pretty safely. He saw Echo throw that out, and he said, I don't want any of that, which was, you know, rightly so, because he and Azir are keeping pretty neck and neck in CS there. He actually has a little bit of a lead.
We do see a pretty big health advantage right now in that top lane, so we'll have to see how that plays out. The lane is going to push back towards that blue side, so with the vision down in the river, it'll be pretty hard to pull off this gank, but maybe they can do it.
And see, this comes to the point when vision wording wins games, y'all. And so, Hunter backing from there. That might have been a bad choice. Can he get out? His top laner says, hey, I got your back. I'm here for you. But that is a flash blown. And that was really, really nice. Just a subtle counter jungling from Kha'Zix, seeing him on that ward. And now Logical knows, okay, there must be a ward here. So he gets vision of his own. But that was really nicely done. We got the stun down on top, but I don't know. We know that the jungler's there, so that's good to back off.
Yeah, we know the jungler's there. That is a huge wave, so maybe not the kind of thing they want to do into an early game champion like the Pantheon, because if you die and even give her one kill in the 2v1 there, that's going to be really difficult to come back from. We do have another kill in that bot lane, though.
Yeah, and that's just that Caitlyn and Morgana. That's a terrifying lane. You got those purple girls down there, and they are just pushing constantly under turret. And you know it can feel really bad. And it might still feel bad if you're the Maokai. It feels very bad now. I mean, in addition to getting those 2 kills, they are over halfway done on this turret. I mean, this is just, they are absolutely demolishing this early game, and they're just going to open this up pretty soon, and then, you know, that Caitlyn can roam and set up her traps and get more turrets down, and you just don't want to see that if you're the enemy team.
And the Hilliard bot lane is putting on a clinic for what this lane is supposed to be doing, because they want to be pushing, they want to be getting those plates, and they want to transition that into other lanes, ideally before the plates fall, which it looks like they're going to be able to do. I don't know if we can get a gold comparison from the Observer, but we are probably looking at over double the gold on the Caitlyn than we have on the Jhin, given that she has those 4 kills and almost double the CS. It's a huge lead. She's almost at that Storm Razor already.
And I'd be scared to be Cassidy right now. He's looking like a mighty fine treat.
And there's that
with
shuffle.
all these people around. He flashes out, but can he might make it out. He might make it out. But top lane, there was a 2v1, and they did not make it out. Meanwhile, Hansifer is chasing down, saying, well, if I can't have you, I'll take this scuttle. And that is a low jungler. We've got Logical looking for the follow-up. He says, you're going to 2v1 me? I'm going to 1v2 you. And then oh my gosh, he's going after it all. This man, he says, you won't stop me. I'm going to follow you into your jungle, and I'm going to kill you. And he does. And that Cassidy, oh my gosh, she survived a 3-man gank only to get chased down in the jungle. This is rapidly going Hilliard's way.
You can tell that Logical knows how strong he is right now. He knows that his early game champion with a lead can push that early game aggression, and in the bot lane, maybe a 1v2.
Yeah. You know, Eric, I want to get your thoughts on this. What are you thinking with these power plays in every lane, it seems like?
It's such a confident expose, right? Like, even here, Caitlyn's walking in, 1v2, that trap, that's unfortunate, you know, and even if that doesn't, look at that, just look at that, they're counting.
Yes! I'm just to play off that man, like, how... That was just almost disrespect, and I mean, I have nothing against Oberlin. Oberlin's great, they have a wonderful conservatory of music, but you can't walk on a trap when you have a Caitlyn who is this far ahead. I don't care if it's a 2v1, she's going to do the damage. They already know she's going to land the skill shots. I mean, that's just almost blatant disrespect. You know, he should have passed around that. Morgana, that was a beautiful find. That's death. Now, the good on the Kha'Zix for seeing that kill. I get that. That's a huge shutdown. But then he had to trade his life for it. This will be first turret going over to the red team. But Kha'Zix, I applaud you for taking advantage of that and trying to at least get something back with that shutdown. Oh, and not quite finishing off the turret, but it is a breath away from death.
We have the Cassidy roaming. Let's see what happens.
All right, Cassidy coming in. They're saying, okay, this number 2v2, we like this better. Happy Asian being careful not to back there. This might be bad for them. Morgana's pretty low, but we got the stun there. We got the black shields out. Nice flash. Go to root on her side. throwing the little thingies, whatever they're called. Oh, ult down from Echo. He's chasing in. He sees what he can do, and Ignite's gone on him. It might tick down, and they got it. But then can Morgana get there? He finishes. Oh no, it goes to Echo. Echo gets the double kill. That is brutal. Definitely worth trading his life with that. But nice on the Ignite to finally tick him down. And now Morgana says, oh my gosh, can I finally back, please?
Oh goodness, you hate to see it. You've all probably had those solo queue experiences when you're behind and when you just want to come back in the game. They saw that maybe they could get that kill, but they just push it a little bit too far. And like ERP is getting quite aggressive to try and get that turret. I know that you know, you see that turret, you see it's so close to death, but he might capitalize. Oh, a nice net from Caitlyn to get out, but there is that was a nice try again from Jim with the W, but there is a absolute ton of armor on that last plate in the early game, so with the backdoor bonus as well, maybe not as easy as you think, but in the top lane...
Oh, that feels bad.
Oh.
That feels bad.
Again, it's always the game of inches when you're behind. You're just not quite strong enough to get these kills that, in other scenarios, if it wasn't quite as much of an early game advantage, it would be so easy to pull it off, but man, we're getting the dragon down bot lane as well.
Oh, but backing off because they don't have vision. They know there's a lot of people. So Blue Team says, thanks for the leash. Oh, but flashing in, trying to get that. Wait, we got it. Red Team stole it. Oh my gosh, Hansifer. That was great. You get a bonus point. All right, and we got the vision plant going down there. Wow, I mean, poor Blue Team at this point, right? That feels bad.
I don't know, Eric, have you ever had these games where tilt play after tilt play happens and it just feels like you can maybe claw yourself back in, but it doesn't work out?
Yeah, and you're not clawing it back into an 0, that's for sure. They're just trying to leave. They say, let me out of here, and that was a nice little threading between that, but no, Hansifer gets that kill too. They're pushing in this. Mind you, all this is happening before the turret plates have even gone down. We have an extreme gold difference, and we have another kill mid lane. Cassidy going down, they're pushing in this turret. We'll see who gets it first. Yep, Caitlyn got it first, and now the mid lane's going to go down. Wow, this map is getting cracked open like an egg on a breakfast buffet.
So much action in the last 4 minutes. You know, let's talk about that clinic. Morgana. What a Morganic how-to. Even the roots that she's missing are in the perfect spot to guarantee that the teammate following behind her chasing still gets the kills. So even the roots that she's missing are still completely on point. And how many plates is that now? Is it 13 plates? 5-5 and 3, 5-5 and 2 top lane? You know, one of the impressive things about them being so aggressive, getting the lead, taking it, they are continuing to press it everywhere across the board.
Ooh, nice.
Nice try on that binding, but we have the Cassidy ult down now for a few seconds. At that first ult level, it's quite a long cooldown. We have another kill in the top lane as well.
Yeah, we had a nice gank from Echo up there with Logical saying, hey man, the rest of the lanes got their turrets down. Let's get yours down too. Getting some nice vision. Cassidy going after this Scuttle bot lane. So that'll be nice to get. But yeah, this is just, they're cracking open this map and placing down vision.
I think that the point that Eric just made a little bit earlier about the Morgana skill shot is really important, but we'll hold off here for the action.
Oh yeah, because Malphite ult is down. That was a great route into that. We have stopwatch put down, and can Caitlyn save her support? Yes, she can. And ERP is just doling out the damage, and Morgana's saying it was a bait. It was a bait. Nice W on Jin's part. Really good flash. That was some nice defensive maneuvering. And yes, I agree. We will head back. Oh, we'll head back to the top lane first because we have more action. I swear my color casters can't even talk because everything's just shoutcasting because there's so much action. And we have Shelly going down top turret to second tier, trying to get it down. And then they're like, we're diving it. We can do it. Azir ult down. Pantheon just going in. And Hansifer saying, I'll take it. But Azir finds himself in a bad position between a turret and a death place. And he goes down there, but they get so much. Oh my gosh, Pantheon! Wow! I always tell my students, don't flex with words. Talk is cheap. Flex with your actions, and he is doing just that. Flashing in under turret to get that kill, backing out like no sweat. Huge stuff, and I do also want to agree with what Eric had said about Morgana, and we can go back to that, and then you guys can keep talking about what just happened here.
Absolutely. So just the general idea of it is when you're using your skill shots in League of Legends, sometimes it's not about hitting them, it's about zoning with them. And that's what she was doing so well, and we've seen that from other people, but more action now.
Wow! Oh, that was such a valiant effort. Spell shielding, with the flash, and then, Caitlyn saying, okay, well, I'm gonna at least defend your honor, but now she needs to piece out, because that's fast Cosmic with the TP coming down, and she's turning back with the damage. She doesn't want this, not with the Pantheon coming. We know how scary that is. These two together can just do so much damage out, and they're not even afraid about 4v2. That's fine, because they are packing the punches of an entire team, and this turret looks like it is just going down. So again, Morgana trading her life to get a lot more. Maokai ult coming down. We have okay, Caitlyn ult down. Logical gets the kill, but then does die. That's a huge shutdown going over to Jhin. Whew. Azir turret coming up.
That's one of those plays that you have that confidence all game, and then sometimes you just go a little bit too deep with it. I don't think that is quite ready to be up there to block the turret damage, especially with the CC that came out. That was a great dive though from Hans.
Oh my gosh.
Skill shot again.
When did Cam play so much Echo? That was beautiful.
We have this Drake coming up. I'm guessing they're going to take that because everything on the map is theirs right now. We do have to talk about the avenues that could potentially get blue side back in the game, and those would be those over-aggressive plays. Those would be those shutdowns, because we did get 1,000 gold and the comeback experience on the Jhin from that, so that's going to put him towards his next item quite a bit faster. But at this point, it is just so hard. We already have, even after the shutdown, a 12,000 gold lead at 16 minutes.
And Caleb, our observer, is showing us also that gold differential, even between the junglers, and that's part of the reason Echo hurt so badly, and he is an 8-1. That's a lie. Now we have some vision wars over the Drake pit, but there's nothing they can do. The red team has that secured. Maokai finding himself in a bad position. He's pretty tanky, but not tanky enough to live through all those guys knocking down. And got Echo throwing that out, and we're good. But Pantheon says, what else can I get? I'm gonna try this. Oh my gosh, double kill. We have Zhonya's popped, and he wakes up to find himself in the middle of the red team. And gone. Daddy Disney picking up this kill against Swain. They turn their sights mid lane. They don't have a wave yet though, but it should be coming in, and then I expect this turret will go down soon. Pushing, knock, and they are in the base. Zoning off that Kha'Zix, getting his flash out, which is nice. Pantheon again saying, I don't care about turrets, I just care about but there it is! Exactly what we were talked about! Oh my gosh! Maybe going a little too ham, guys. Maybe going a little too ham. I know that Kaelin really wants to get this in him, but there are some shutdowns going the way of the blue team. Maybe this is team Morgana's going down, and I'm not sure about this, y'all. Yeah, okay. Unpack that, boys.
Definitely a lot of overconfidence here from the red side. They know how ahead they are, and they were pushing it. We actually don't see too much of a gold difference coming out from that play, just because they did get so much in the process as well. But still, as they were getting those shutdowns back, we have to talk about what led to all that happening. And when you're as behind as you are on the blue side, you really can't contest that second break. I know it's some stats, but when you're looking at what's actually going to make or break the game, a lot of times it's going to be going for those objectives that you really can't contest. And man, Maokai is still going for it.
Yeah, I think he just wanted to stop her back, but then I don't think he thought through that other people could be coming. And then Hunsifer comes in and says, well, I'll take your life. And then, Caitlyn gets it with the ult there. What is that ult called again? Something in the hole? Fox? Shot?
I'm not sure about the actual name for the ability.
Ace in the hole. Thank you, Caleb. Ace in the hole. And now they're just taking the jungle, saying, okay, this is ours now.
We do have some pings coming down on that Rift Herald. It's coming very close to when the Baron timer is, and it looks like they might try and rush it right before the Baron comes up, just to increase that map pressure even further, and we are not slowing down.
No, we got a root out on Morgana's side, followed by the pool, just trying to get some pressure on this turret, but again, hopefully we learned our lesson, about overstaying too much. However, that is something that, we've talked to the team about, that a zero turret comes up, and that helped put a little distance between them and the enemy team. Yeah, we've talked to them about when they have a steady lead, you know, that's pretty darn high. They should push it and see, you know, what they can get away with. And so that's exactly what they're doing. Hunter going in as they're all separating Malphite from his team. That's the double kill going over to Hunter. And it looks like the triple coming his way. Ocean, nice job there, but that won't be enough to save your teammate. And Ace in the hole might be getting it. No, it goes to Hunter.
Goes the Hunter.
Okay, he's like, oh, he's hungry for more. He wants more.
So Pantheon was ulting in there just for the pressure. He actually got the Herald, so they're looking to end the game with it.
Yep. That's brutal. And maybe they'll give Shelly the dance.
Yep, at this point in the game, death timers are very short. I don't think we're going to get the dance, but they might still be able to end with the pressure they have.
Yeah, and that's just brutal. Oh, that's a funny something named Spearberg. I like it. Alright, we got some more deaths on the side of blue side, more kills on the side of red side. This last turret does not have long for the world. And they want to end it. They say, nope, this is our Nexus, this is our Rift. And, oh, fuel shutdown. But again, you know, these numbers, this damage, there's not much they can do. The turrets are, I mean, the minions are coming in, and that is game. Wow, 20-minute, sub 21-minute game. Whew. Eric, what were your thoughts on that?
Clinical. I think from the top to bottom it's still clinical. Maybe a couple of misplays here from red team. I really like the choices from blue team to try and get back in. Like, you know, what are you going to do? You're 10,000 down. They are feeling that. They're having that feeling that you find in solo queue. You're like, oh no, what do? I've got to do something. And that's rough. When you're playing best of one, it's hard to balance. You know, if it was best of three, you could let it go. You could try and wear out the other team a little bit. Maybe Feed have some more fun, regroup. But when it's best of one and you find yourself in that spot, that's a tough Saturday for our friends at Oberlin right there.
Yep, you have to respect both sides there. You know, the blue team for trying to make those comeback plays and the red team for trying to push their advantage as hard as they did, even though it was an overreach sometimes. So great job to both teams on the day.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, Eric, thank you for being here. Peter, thanks for coming back in. And, of course, thanks to Caleb. Thanks to all of you guys for watching. You know, this was a dominant win for Hilliard esports, but some really good League of Legends. Is there anything else you guys wanna say?
I think that about covers it. Thank you, to everyone. And, again, happy Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah,
Thanks to everybody, and happy Mother's Day weekend.
All right, take care, guys.